Morning guys, how are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So we will go over to those charts. So you don't need me to tell you that this is looking dicey. You can see the trend line we've got in. You can see that we obviously tested it. Obviously it wasn't a trend line at this point, and this is when it was just forming. But yeah, wicked through it here, got supported, got back up to this resistance zone, wicked back through it again, quite convincingly this time. Closed a few candles on the 4-hour below it, but then managed to get supported. Overshot the resistance zone, but subsequently came back under it. Tested it again yesterday, came back up to the resistance zone, got resisted again. Came down to it again. Obviously you can see where I'm going with this. Tested back up again, and now we're down at it, and we're basically sitting on it. So this is very bearish, price action in relation to this trend, line. This trend line looks like it's going to get taken out basically, like with a high probability. It's obviously easy for me to say that when the price is literally sat on it, but you get what I'm saying. It's also easy for me to say it because it is likely. So yeah, I mean, unless we get a turnaround, unless we get a wick up, a move up, which is possible on the basis that it's weekend price action, so markets are thinner. It's also possible because it just looks so bearish. You get points in Bitcoin where it looks so bearish, and I've noticed it a few times in previous price action. You guys have probably seen it too. It looks so bearish, and then we just get out of nowhere a big massive green candle that stops out all the people that have been shorting and just sends us to the moon. I mean, it's a textbook short squeeze, liquidity hunt for bigger players. So yeah, this is looking very bad. I mean, that obviously, do I think that is the likely scenario? No, not really. You've always got to lean on the side that someone isn't just going to come in and do that. But I mean, you can look here how bearish we're looking at this point. We come back, we're testing the trend line, much similar to how we test. Well, it's not a trend line here at this point, but we are basically coming down to this sort of support. So we basically we tested the support, came back up, made a lower high, tested the support again. And we did consolidate under that resistance near that support, and looking at that you'd think, okay, so we're potentially going to take this support out, and then here we go, out of nowhere we just end up with this massive run up. Literally no time to breathe, no time to really get out your position or put on. I mean, obviously you have, but I mean, I just mean there's no real consolidation over a period of time here. It's just up. So we could get that coming out of nowhere. Also, we do have very low volatility. So price can be drifting around like it is drifting around, either to the upside or to the downside. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that important in relation to when the volume and the big candle comes in the direction it goes in. It could come in up or down. So they're the mitigating factors, basically, against the bearish case. But on the balance of things, you kind of have to look, at least if you're just looking at this trend line, I mean, there is no reason at all why you see this a lot of time, either reaccumulation or distribution. You get a box, like we've got a box here, we've got the high, we've got the low of the box, and we are basically trading in this range. Whilst, yeah, okay, we've got this low, and this low, and it looks like an ascending triangle. There is no reason why we can't, going forwards, have a just sort of a either a reaccumulation or a redistribution, or a distribution, not a redistribution, a distribution pattern form up here. So we could break this trend line very easily. We could break this one. We could come down to 8,600, and you guys know this is the big one. This is the important one. This trend line is just for this this pattern we've got going here, the ascending triangle. This support here speaks to the overall macro trend, that we're in, and it will basically, if we start trading below here, that will mean this is definitely, well, definitely nothing's definite, but this will be very likely to be a macro top, and then we're going to see a lot more downside. So this level to the overall trend is more important than this level, than holding this trend line. and we can break this trend line, come down to here, trade around here, maybe trade back up, trade, and then either break up or break down. I mean, whatever we do after that, we do what is obviously we'll have to analyze that when we are at that point in time, in that situation, if we get to that situation. But so what I'm saying is, yeah, we are expecting a big expansion. I mean, there is no reason why though. I'm expecting 2k candles, 2k moves over like a couple of days, maybe even one day. So there's no real reason why, well, there is no reason why that 2k move would obviously come down and take us out under here, or take us above. Also, one thing I do need to tell you guys about basically expansions in volatility, they don't obviously indicate direction, but also that direction doesn't have to be the same for the whole expansion of volatility. So what I mean by that is, say I'm expecting a $2,000 move expansion in volatility, right? That $2,000 does not have to be $2,000 straight down. It could be $500 down and then $1,500 up, or it could be $1,000 down, $1,000 up, and we could literally end up at the same place. But obviously we would have had well, a crypto BART move, basically, wouldn't we? Or it could be 2,000 in one direction, or it could be, I mean, I will stop with the examples after this. It could be 500 up, it could be 1,000 down, and then 500 up and then 500 down again. I mean, the expansion in volatility, one, doesn't imply direction, and then also you have to understand the direction doesn't all have to be the same within that expansion of volatility, right? So we got that clear. So yeah, so basically we can lose this trend line. We can be in what could still be a topping formation. Until we break this and start to move down, that won't necessarily be confirmed. But I do believe there is obviously a chance this ascending triangle can be clearly be invalidated and we can go up, or it can be invalidated and it can literally be an obvious indication that we are basically going to take out this level and come down. So I mean, this is why we have these levels drawn. This is why we do these videos twice a day. We analyze the price action as it comes in, a Bayesian inference model. We analyze the new information as we get it in real time, and we just got to watch. But this trend line is looking dicey. So we're either going to break it and we're going to come down, and if we break this trend line, this is our first support zone where we've got to really be supported. I mean, we could get supported here, but we don't really need to be supported here to still be bullish. We need to be supported here or we will go bearish. So if for the macro trend. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Stochastics on the 4 hour. Let's get these up. Stochastics on the 4 hour. I mean, yeah, we're still testing this low. I mean, I would guess. I hate guessing. I hate saying, no, I don't hate guessing. Obviously, that's all I do based on probabilities. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is that what I think may happen is that we get a move down here. A bit more move down in the Stokes, maybe a move down in price action to around 9,000, which would obviously correspond with, well, about this level here, over this weekend. And then we've got to see, will we get basically whip back up, or when we open on Monday, will we close the gap and then come back down? With the CME open on Monday anyway, and then close back a gap and come back down, or close the gap and keep going back up. But I am thinking we are going to test some downside here. I mean, if they want to start planting massive bullish candles and trapping a load of shorts, it would fully make sense to basically push us down first, to get more people short, to get people that are long stopping out their longs, to push us down more, and then slam us back up. That's the play. That would be the play. So that again would suggest that we are going to break this level if that is the play as well. So yeah, something to consider. Also, 8-hour Stokes pointing down here, you can see, and 12-hour Stokes, which is the important one for me. Here we go. Oh, come on, here we go. 12-hour Stokes still pointing up. So still pointing up. So I mean, on the next tick in this, which will wait a minute, I need to look on here. The next tick, which will actually only be in 2 hours time, can potentially turn us down now. So I mean, we've got to watch for that. It would look like basically a rejection of this line level, and then we are looking at and we're looking at then the 12-hour going down, and I think that would almost be that would almost, for me, on the balance of probabilities, tell me that this is where we're going. And then we'll have to assess whether we break that, go macro bearish, whether we get supported there, stay in this zone, neutral, and then if we start to move back up, whether we can then potentially go bullish. That's what that's going to tell me. Daily Stokes. Yeah, I mean, pretty convincingly not held this trend line now. But it could be a fake out. But I mean, like I said, if we do come down to 9k, it's going to look pretty bearish. Things are looking bearish, basically. Things are looking bearish. I mean, apart from obviously these kind of few little wicks, we broke this level and we haven't really got back above it. For any meaningful amount of price action. Yeah, it's looking bearish. So I think we know how Bitcoin works. It's got its nature, its personality, and what it likes to do is basically basically ruin as many people. So I am thinking we are either going to go down to here, which is a bit more than people expect. People then get very bearish, and then we're going to get supported. We're going to go down, and then we're going to like wick up pretty quickly, or we potentially may start to move up again, and then just squeeze people out their shorts that way. But we'll have to just see the play as it goes. But I would just be careful, because the expansion of volatility that we are expecting indicates to me that I don't want to be necessarily judging the direction of that big move based on this short-term price action, on the basis we know that Bitcoin can do all sorts of crazy things when it wants to. So yeah, so you just got to be careful, really. Weekends are especially dangerous, but you would hope that weekends won't be like any decisive moves in price, and would wait till the actual markets are open properly. CME's trading and traditional markets are open. So yeah, that's it really. So yeah, we just got to be really careful, really. It's a time to be keeping an eye on things, not doing anything stupid. If you've been trading these ranges nicely, maybe time to ease up a little bit on that. And yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, guys. So right, remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys later.